Hi and welcome back. My name is Mr. Poppo and welcome to this very new tutorial. We're going to be looking at a work done by Tony Zagora iOS, as I call him, and it's going to be on After Effects. Let's go. So in this tutorial we're going to focus on the first part, which is this. So here in the tutorial I probably have attached in the project files under the description. You'll see a color. I just put my color there, and we have a triangle shape, and of course we have a background, but this one just for references so that we can work at that. And then we have a screenshot where we're going to start creating things. So I'm going to start with that. The first thing I want to create is I want to create this triangle. So to do that, I'm just going to go to my pen tool, click, click, click. Alright, so now I've got my shape pretty much. I'm going to call this triangle logo. And save this, and I'm going to create the other parts. So we have triangle logo here. I have the triangle logo shape there, so that's cool. I need this thing right here. So to create that, I'm just going to make an ellipse tool, and I'm just going to go to my colors. Okay, so ellipse tool, color, and I'm going to pick that color there. And I'm going to start creating. So it's just going to be a circle, sphere. I'm going to call this a ball holder. And to have it as a half sphere, all I need to do is go inside of this in content, ellipse. I'm just going to go in content, add, and I'm going to go trim path. Doing trim path, I'm just going to go inside and just cut it into half. So if you don't know trim path is just this effect where it cuts things for you. So it animates them in. So I'm just going to go and say 50%. Because if I do 50%, I'm going to have half the circle. But the problem here is that it's not facing the right direction. So there are two ways of solving this. Either I go and I rotate it. Alright, we have an anchor point problem here. So I'm just going to go up, transform, center anchor point, and I can start rotating it this way. Okay? Or all I could do is go and play with the offset. So if I go here into 90 degrees, I'm going to get it into half. And that's really cool. So I'm just going to go and do that there. Alright, cool. So we've got our ball holder. We need to create this stroke here. So to do that, I'm just going to go again into my sphere tool. I'm just going to go into the center, and I'm going to hold Control Shift or Command Shift, and I'm just going to do it this way. Alright, so right now what I'm doing is I'm creating a full circle, and that's not really what I want. So I'm just going to go click in this, delete my fill, and I'm just going to go and increase this to maybe 13 or something, and I can see that it's actually correct. So I remember in my video I had two stroke lines, so I'm just going to keep two. So we have one that is yellow, and I'm just going to call this outer stroke, and I'm just going to duplicate this and go to color, try to lock this so that I don't change it. I'm just going to go and pick the blue color, I believe. Alright, so that gives me both circles. I'm just going to put them here. Perfect. So what do we have now? We have this, and we have this, and we have this. Alright, so we've got this and that and that. That is really cool. The next thing that I'm going to try to create is let's create this ball. So to create a ball, I'm just going to go, I don't need this, and I need this. Okay. Obviously it's going to be white, so I'm just going to go and create one. Alright, now I need you to focus with me right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this ball. So Command Shift so that I can have it right in the center. Perfect. I'm just going to bring this guy, for example, here. I'm going to go pop, transform, center anchor point. I just want to have the anchor point right there. Cool. So I'm just going to call this ball main. Alright, check this out. So if I want to have that half a circle there are many ways of doing that. There are literally so many ways you can do that. One way that you probably know is you could probably duplicate this, go here, change the color into this, and then what you can do is click on the sphere tool, go to mask, and try to mask this. Alright, this is one way. And then you can just parent this to that, so when you animate this guy, it's going to go with it. That is one way. Alright, I want to teach you another way today. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go and create another sphere. Just say, this one, duplicate. I'm just going to go inside of it, and I'm going to create this guy like that. Alright, and I'm just going to go and color him into yellow. So right now, what do I have? I have a sphere that has the first sphere, that has the second sphere. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a group here. So try to bear with me here. I'm going to go create both this guys, and I'm just going to go inside and say add a merge path. Going into merge, I'm just going to say instead of add, intersect. Alright, so what I have is I can only see ellipse 2 when it's intersecting ellipse 1. So if I try to change the order, it's the same. Alright, so because I'm just going to see the intersection of them both. So if I try to go here and say merge, I'm going to have them both. They'll try to both fusion and have the color of, you know, the second one. And if I go to subtract, I'm only going to see this, but without the first ball. Alright, so I'm just going to go and say intersect. Let's call that in. Alright, and I'm just going to parent this to that. And I'm just going to take everything, and I'm going to go to composition, layer, pre-compose. So what's this going to do is it's going to make it all as a one file. So I don't have to worry about touching anything else. I'm just going to call this ball of tutorial 1. Alright, I'm just going to go here, ball tutorial 1. Perfect. What else do I need right now? Got that. I'll probably need to create this line right here. So to do that, I'm just going to go and I don't need a fill. I only need a stroke. That is, again, 13. We have to stay in the R direction here. So I'm just going to go here and go all the way and click here. That's it. Right, then I'm going to click on the shape tool so that I can just select this guy. Put him right here. Cool. Now you can see and notice that it's actually rounded here, but in my case it's not rounded, it's straight. So to fix that, I'm gonna call align logo. I'm just gonna go inside content, shape, and I don't need this one. I have stroke. Alright, so this is a stroke. Cool, perfect. I'm just going to go in, and I'm going to go inside, and then I have this called line cap. So in design, we don't call this like a cut. We call that a cap. So it's like those edges, your edges, we don't call them like that, but we call them a cap. So butt cap, it's like when it's straight. Round cap, it's when it's rounded. So if you want to go from straight to rounded, you just have to go inside your shape, stroke, and then you change it from butt cap to round cap. So that's pretty much it. I think we're all ready and set to go. I don't think there is there is anything else as far as I remember. The other things we can just create them on the go. Alright, one thing I'm going to start with first is that you can see that here in my tutorial, in my example, it's that it starts blue and then it ends up in this weird color. And same thing goes for this guy right here. So to do that, I'm just going to delete this, and I'm going to show you the line logo. I'm just going to put this one right here now. We have the line logo, but right now it's only one color. So to have a gradient color, I'm just going to click on the text stroke, and then I'm going to go and choose gradient, linear gradient. Alright, so you can already see that it's giving me a linear gradient. And here I have this thing right here. I'm not sure if you can see it really well, but there are two points. When you're selecting your selection tool and you do this, you'll have 2 points. And these are your colors. Okay, so I'm just going to go in. Alright, yeah, I'm just going to invert it so that we know what we're doing. Okay, I'm just going to go in and say that I want the first color, like the last one, to be that, or I can just change it to any color I want. So I'm just going to say that it's that. And the first one, I don't want it to be yellow, so I'm just going to select it, but I want it to be this guy. So that's pretty much it. That's all there is to it. That's all. Let's go. Alright, so let's start animating, I would say. First thing I want is a triangle logo. So as you can see here, the only thing that happened is that it scales and it changes the color and rotate. So we're just going to go and do that too. So I'm just going to go scale, rotation. Alright, I'm just going to make sure that transform anchor point is right in the center so that when it rotates from there. Cool. I'm just going to go like, I don't know, like 14 frames maybe. I'm just going to put 2 keyframes. Alright, and I'm just going to go back. I'm going to say that it's going to start like this, maybe. Let's just say 80. And it starts from 0. And I'm just going to take this and see what's going to happen. Yeah. Alright. But, of course, the speed is a bit not good. So I'm just going to go and bear with me because I'm just working on a laptop, so it's really small. I'm just going to go select both keyframes and say keyframe assistant easy ease or F9. Alright, and I'm just going to go to both of them and go to graph here, graph editor. I'm going to select both my keyframes and I'm going to hold Control so that it snaps, or Shift so that it snaps in your while you are dragging this. Alright, so let's see. See that? Now it's way better. That's pretty much it. This is one, but then of course we could see that it actually changes the color. So it starts from yellow and it becomes blue. So how do we do that? Well, it's very simple. If you go select your triangle logo, alright, just close this. I go inside content, shape. Inside my shape I have the fill, and I have my color. Or if you want to go faster, you just select your layer and you type here color. And there you go, you have color. Actually, we don't need this guy. Okay. Alright. So I'm just going to put a keyframe on the last color. And I'm going to go and put a keyframe on the first color. And the first color is going to be this guy. Okay, and I'm just going to easy ease. Alright. And I'm just going to add this little thing. You know, when it grows, we have that circle. So I'm just going to do that. And to do that, it's really simple. I don't need a gradient. I just need a normal color. And the color is going to be yellow. Okay. So, actually, if you want to get this grid, because I like to know where my center is, you can just click here. Title action save. Alright. So I'm just going to go here and Shift, Control, and I'm going to put it something like that. Okay. and I'm just gonna say that this one center perfect, and scale and opacity. So 10 frames. So it's gonna end like that, and it's gonna scale from 0. Okay, and opacity is gonna start from 100, but then it has to disappear. So it's gonna end up like that. Okay, all right. I just need to play with the speed. I'm just going to go to scale and make it go really fast. All right. All right, perfect. So we got that in. That's nice. So I'm just going to call this logo FX. And I'm going to color it in purple so that I know later on, or orange, so that I know that anything that is orange is just effects. So it's not it's not a very important layer like the main one that we created here. So that we have it. So that's perfect. I think the next one that we're going to do is we're going to try to focus on one of the outer strokes. And I'm just going to go and go to the first out stroke, and I'm going to try to play with this. If we can see in the tutorial is that first there is nothing, and then it just starts animating in. So let's try to record that. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go inside my outer stroke, and I'm just going to go to here, content, and then maybe I can try to add frame path. But later on, if you want to go a bit faster, you just select your layer and go to add frame path. It's literally the same thing. So I'm just going to go and start from 0. And by the way, while I'm doing this, you can realize that my cap is a butt cap. So I'm just going to go and try to fix that first. I'm just going to go to stroke, inside my stroke line cap, change from butt to rounded. Alright, that is done. Cool, just close this, and let's focus on animating this. So it's going to start from 0, and 1, 2, let's just say 20 frame. It's gonna be somewhere there. So I'm just gonna go and say it's gonna be around this. But then the problem is, as you can see here, it's not gonna be a full circle. So how did I get it to be there? Well, there are two ways of doing this again. You can go, literally, you can go and you can rotate this way. Alright, so you can rotate it this way if you want. I'm just going to say 50%. That is possible. So all you have to do is go and rotate. But that's not really a great thing of doing that, because as you can see, it is rotating and then it's rotating. So you could do that. Or what you could do is, instead of rotating it, you can just play with the offset as well. Alright, so let's do one this way, and the other outer stroke we can do it with the other way. So yeah, so it's going to start from here. This is the end rotation, and I'm just going to go here, and I'm going to say that it's going to start from it's going to start from here. Okay, so perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to take both keyframes, keyframe assistant, easy ease. I'm just going to get this like that maybe, and I'm just going to make it like go slow, super fast, and slow again. So see that? Slow, fast, and super slow again. Let's try to focus on that one. Alright, so that's one. Perfect. Pop, pop, pop. Okay, so let's just see everything that we just animated. That's really cool. Once again. Alright, so the next one, we're going to pretty much do the same thing. I'm just going to go and say, we could actually duplicate that, that's one thing, and you can just offset the layer, but since I told you I want to show you the other way of doing it, I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to go pop, pop, frame path, just going to go here, ellipse, stroke, round cap again, close this, just going to go to frame path, and let's do it up. So 50%, or probably 55%, and I'm just going to do an end, and the offset is actually going to be somewhere around here too. Okay, and I'm just going to click, so I'm just going to do -122. Maybe something like that. Okay, and I'm just going to put a keyframe there, and I'm just going to go back, and I'm just going to say that it starts from 0, but then on the offset, it's going to start from here. Perfecto. And I'm just going to go and literally do the same thing, which is like this, and then this one can start like that. See that? So that's one way of doing this, but then obviously this one has to be just a little bit bigger. So I think I've changed it. Okay. And just to make things really preferable, I would say, I'm just gonna delay this a bit. So it starts just a little bit later than that. So everything will seem a bit complicated, but actually it's not. Alright, so we've got this. Nice. The next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to play with this line logo because it's really important, and it's probably one of the... Is it a complicated thing here? Maybe. I don't know. So what's gonna happen here? So let's just focus on this guy. Okay. This guy. So it starts that way. It goes in the back, and then it comes in there. All right. Cool. So let's try to do that. So doing it, you have so many ways. You can start with frame path, or you can do it the old-fashioned way. So let's try to see what is this old-fashioned way. So we know that this is a path. So I'm just going to go and say path. And right here you can see a keyframe on path. So what is this? This means that if I change selection layer, if I change this, by the way, if you select your layer, you're going to have 2 points selected. But if I click on Shift and click on one of the points, it's going to unselect it. So I can only change 1 point. Alright, so if I change it like this, so you can see that the keyframe records everything that I've changed. Perfect, so that's what I want, because I want this to end like that. Alright, so I'm just going to say that this is where you're going to end. But then the way you're going to start, Shift click, I want you to start from here. Okay, so you're just going to go here. So I'm just going to select this, easy ease, do that fast to slow. Alright, so this to me would be the easiest way of doing this. But then, if you want to have like more of a nice animation kind of thing, I'm just going to go here, and instead of going directly here, I'm going to take this, select this point, and drag it up. Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to go here, and I'm just going to click this way, I I can see that I'm having a problem when it comes to where it is going. See, it's like, Alright, so to fix that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate this guy. This is just for reference of seeing what am I doing. Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna go back here. See, that's a problem. So instead of going this way, it has to go this way, so that it's a straight line. So boom, and then it comes back there. Once again. Alright, so now this is more of what I like. This is, yeah, this is it. And of course here, this one is going pretty down this way when it ends. Alright, so that's how I have it. That is really perfect. And to make things even better, what we did here was we played a bit with the size of this. So doing this way is just not going to work. Alright, so the way we do that, you just select your layer. Again, you can go inside and you can go gradient stroke and you can play with the stroke width. So you can make it bigger or smaller. Alright, or you can just, for fast thing again, just close this. Select your layer, and if you know what you're doing, just go stroke. And you're going to put a keyframe here. I'm going to say something like this. And actually the way it started a bit big. Okay. Perfect. I just have a little problem here. I just want to rotate this maybe this way, and same thing goes for the other one, not this one, this one. I'm just gonna go and try to rotate that just a bit more, like that. Perfect, we're having it. That is good. One thing I'm gonna do again, where are we? We are gonna try to play with this logo shape. This one is pretty simple. We're gonna do pretty much the same thing. I'm just gonna go and say that this logo, the reason why I put this logo here is because it's imported from Illustrator, and this is kind of a hard shape to do inside of After Effects, so yeah, I'd rather have it done there. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to go inside of content, or I'm just going to check my pick site. Okay, so yeah, alright, doesn't matter. Okay, so we have the color there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that it's going to end like that because the logo says that once it ends, it's going to start, see, this one. So it actually moves in, and then in the same thing, it's actually animated. So to do that, I'm just going to go say that the position is here, okay? And it actually starts from outside of the screen. So it starts maybe here. Alright? And I'm just going to go and say it's an F9. And I'm going to go and make this like that. And alright. Of course, I need to animate in things, so I'm just going to go in, bum. I believe there is already a frame path because it's not a full triangle, so I'm just going to go and play with that. Trim path 2, trim path 1. Okay, so I'm going to start with 100, put a keyframe there, and when it ends, it's gonna be 0. Cool. So I'm just gonna easy ease this one, go inside, and just drag this as much as possible. Alright, and obviously this is going way too fast, so I'm just gonna make this slow a bit. Alright, so I'm just gonna do this, and as you can see, we actually have two triangles, so I'm just gonna go and duplicate this, and instead of having it just that way, I'm actually gonna go and grab my yellow color. And I'm just going to go here and change that to yellow. Or, you know what? This is just complicating things for you, so I'm just going to go here and change this to yellow. Perfect. The only thing that I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go and offset this a bit. See that? Nice. Nicer. Alright, cool. What else do we need to do? So let's start by animating this thing right here. So it's gonna start that way, and then it's gonna fall in, and then it's gonna help the ball go in. Alright, so follow this, pop, and then falls in. Okay, so it goes in and rotates back. Alright, let's do that. This is going to be really easy, so just follow along. I'm just going to go into my ball holder, and I'm going to say that this is where it needs to end, right? So, okay. Position, it starts from there. Well, but then in the beginning, it was here. Okay, so pop, and then it falls down. Or maybe just a bit more down. Yeah. Just a bit. Okay. And I'm just gonna easy ease, go here. Just a bit. You know, just to make things a bit smoother. Alright. And of course, in the beginning, the rotation was like this. But then in the beginning, it wasn't really like this, but it was just a bit like that. Okay, and we're just going to easy ease this. Alright. And then at this point, it's going to rotate like that. Alright, so that's pretty much easy. I don't understand where that went. Yeah, sorry. I actually pushed this keyframe a bit too far, so I'll just have to redo this again. Sorry. Okay, cool. Just gonna easy ease this guy, and let's go. Alright, so let's see with the ball. What's gonna happen now? The ball is not there. Okay. So I'm just going to take the ball and put it here. So it follows this guy. Alright? Okay. So we got that. So how can we animate the ball going out, or going out of this place? So I'm just going to go right here. The ball, it's going to go position. It's going to go like that. And it's just, but before I do that, I can see that I have a problem because the anchor point is here. So if I want to rotate this ball, it's not going to be an easy thing to do. So I'm just going to go transform, but it's not going to work because the ball composition is just too big. So I'm going to go to my anchor point tool, and I'm just going to change it this way. Perfect. Now I can go back to my selection tool and say that this is going to fall. Alright, it's going to be falling here. So, pop, 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 pop. Okay. All right, and of course you want it to rotate a bit. So I'm just going to go Shift R to bring rotation as well, and I'm just going to rotate this a bit. Let's just say like that. And F9. So if you want to see really what's happening, check this out. Alright, so that's how I created it. Perfect. But then again, here's something for you to start learning. This is one thing that you have to get really used to while working with After Effects. When you do this, and maybe the client will say like, hey, I want it to rotate back just like that. See, I want it to rotate back. Yes, we can. Alright, so let's do that. So it's just going to go here, okay? And then it has to rotate back, right? So it has to come back to 0. But then look what happened to the ball. Because the ball is still parented to this layer. So there are two ways of fixing this. It's either you cut the ball layer or you cut the ball holder layer. So what do I mean by cut? It means that at this point we're going to have a second ball. So I'm just going to go here and edit, duplicate. Alright, or split layer. Okay, duplicate, you're just going to duplicate and then you'll have to cut it yourself. But there is a better way. You select your layer, edit, split layer, Shift Control D or Shift Command D. So what's going to happen is, After Effects is going to actually cut this layer, and this one is not going to be for when the ball. See that? So either you do this to this, or either you do it to the ball holder. So one of the ball holder is gonna start from here, right? Like that. And then you cut it here. And the one that is cut, you're gonna rotate. But this one you're not gonna rotate back. Perfect. Hope you get that. But anyways. Let's go. A. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. A. Poppo style. Alright, so one thing, of course, that I want to do here is that when it rotates here, you can see that I have this effect of a cube there, and then it changes the color. So this is all aesthetic. So to do that, it's very simple. I'm just going to go, bam. I don't need a stroke. I actually need this guy. Just going to wait until sometimes there. And I'm just going to make a square. So Command Shift, click, Command Shift. Perfect. And I'm just going to go grab my rotation tool and rotate it this way. Okay, and put it behind the ball holder and the square. So I'm just going to say that this is following the ball holder. Okay, so this is what's happening. Pop, pop. Okay, so what's going to happen is it's going to shine, change the color, go down. Okay. So it's going to shine. So opacity, it's going to be 100 or not even. I'm just going to say it's going to be around 80%. But it starts from 0 to 80% and then and then it goes back to 0. But then and then it goes back to 0. And then it goes back, and then it goes back. And we need to change the color, so I'm just going to select this, and I'm going to say that color is not a stroke, it's actually a fill. So it starts from It starts from yellow and it ends up this. Perfect, so let's see the whole thing. Let's go, let's go. So as we said, this is a cube FX, and this is not really that of a important layer, so we're just gonna say that it's orange, just to stay organized. Perfecto. The next thing we need to do is, I believe we have another stroke here. See, it starts from nothing, it pushes that thing down. Alright, so it's red. So let's do that stroke thingy. Okay, so I'm gonna start from here. I don't need a fill, I only need a stroke, and the color of the stroke is gonna be that red. Actually, you can just copy the color code here. Okay, let's keep going. I'm just gonna go and say that it's gonna start from there and then it's gonna end up here. And the stroke is gonna be around 13. Cool. And then of course I have a problem, so I'm just gonna call this FX stroke. I'm just gonna go here and change this to orange. Oh, my back is hurting. Okay. And I'm just gonna go content, shape, stroke, round cap. Let's go. And that's what I'm gonna have. And I'll need to animate the path. So that is for sure. This is how I'm gonna end. Wait. This is how I'm gonna end. And like that. But then when I'm gonna start, I'm not gonna start like that. I'm gonna start, go up. All right. Just a bit, okay. So it's just gonna go down. So at this point, this guy's gonna go up. Okay, so gonna go up, and then we'll come down. Up, and then we'll come down. And at this point, this guy is gonna be all the way going down. Whoa. This is one trippy line, so it's gonna go up, and then it will go down. Okay, so let's do this in a very fashioned way, I would say. I should say so myself. Okay. So I'm just going to say that here, first it goes really fast. And here it is going to be like that. Okay, cool. So there we have it. One thing that I can do for sure is that this one can actually just go up. Perfect. Alright, that looks really good. Let's go. Alright, perfect. One thing that I'm going to do again is that so right now what's gonna happen, it's everything is just effects, just to make things look more what do we call that, look more and more beautiful. So it's like the same thing here. So I'm just gonna go maybe just even duplicate this and say transform vertical. Alright, so what's gonna happen is it's gonna start this way, then it's just gonna go that way. Alright, but obviously I want this to go a bit later. Alright, and I want this to actually start from here. Okay, and one thing for sure is that I don't want this to be like that. I'm just going to say like this is going to be around 15 or let's just say 20, and it's not going to be a color like that, but it's going to be a gradient. So I'm just going to click on stroke, say this is going to be a line gradient, and once again here are my gradient lines. So we've got the start and we've got the end there. So the start is here, so I'm just going to say that it's going to be like that. So let's see again. And I'm just going to take this and just push it just a bit. Alright, I think the color of the end is a bit too dark, so I'm just going to, ouch, okay, sorry. I'm just going to go here. Dude, thank you. And I'm just going to go here, change the color of this one to like that. Let's go. What would be good is if we could have this stroke like that. Perfect. Let's see what else we can add. Obviously, we're gonna have some this sphere right here. So let's just make that. I'm just gonna go create a sphere. It's really simple. It's not a stroke, but it's actually a fill. And the color, it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna bring that one, and I'm just gonna pop it like that. Okay. So if you want to have it this way, where it actually changes the color of each thing here, it's very simple. All I need to do is I'm going to call this FX big circle. And instead of having it this way, I'm going to go click here. And I'm going to change the blending mode into color. Alright, so that is one. So you can change whatever you want. So I can just go and pop it to this color, for example, and then it's going to change the color into that. Hold on, it's going to transform, center at a point, and I think this is quite too big as a start. It's going to be here. Okay, so that's how you can actually change this to color. Of course, I want to have it just somewhere around that. Logo, triangle logo. I'm just going to put the triangle logo instead of the big circle. But somehow I don't really like the color there. But this one is way much more better. Okay, so I'm just going to call this orange, and yeah. Pop, transform, center, position, scale, and position. So it ends up here, but then it actually starts from, nope, it starts from here while it scales from 0. And then I'm just gonna easy ease, go to the graph, and just gonna say maybe like that. Alright, let's see this in a full screen. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go! Cool. Looks cool. I like it. Alright, we can add this one as well. So it's just for giggles. I'm just gonna go and create a circle there. Like this. But this time it's not going to be this color, it's going to be this color, and yes, everything is random, so I'm just going to go and say it's about 50%, or maybe it's going to be 30%, I would say, and it's not going to be that big. I think this is too big, and that's exactly what she said. And I'm just going to go like that. Wait a sec. And I'm going to say that your opacity starts from 100, from 30. Your scale is 0. And after 20, your scale becomes 100, but your opacity goes back to 0. Now I'm precise. Okay. Alright, so you just add and you just make it more complicated and it just looks way better. The more you add, the better it is. Alright, so something else that I can add that I, for example, did not do in my example is I can just go, for example, and I can just create a stroke. This is just to tell you guys how things work. I don't want this, but I want a stroke that is maybe, I don't know, 8? Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a shape stroke that is like that. Okay, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go to line cap, and from butt to rounded, and what I want is obviously a trim path. Okay, so how this is going to work, I want this to start from here. Okay? Just, this is something that I have not done in my example, but I'm just showing you that this is how this TONY ZAGORAIOS iOS style works. It's just more details and you flow with the motion. So I'm just going to go and I'm going to go and offset, and I'm going to go a start. And then I'm going to go all the way here and say that it goes all the way till here, and then it deletes everything. Okay, and in the same time I want this to have 50, so it's like it's rotating while it's actually going, and obviously this has to be offsetted a bit. So what's gonna happen, wait, what? No, it's not 50 here, 0, 50 here. Okay, so see that? That's what I'm talking about. So I'm just gonna go and make this even prettier. So I'm just gonna say this, that it's gonna accelerate. That's it. This is how the style works. That's pretty much it, I guess. Obviously you can add the line here, you know, you just take this and you reverse it, and then it's going to give you the other way. So yeah, and to make this look like that, what I did was, let me show you. I just took the tutorial, put it in a composition, and I'm just going to go grab that background. Okay, I'm just going to put it here, and okay, alright, so it's like this. So all I need to do is go to rotation, pop, go back, and rotate this a bit like that. And of course, just easy use. Alright, cool. That is all for this part 1 tutorial. I'm going to be posting tutorial number 2, tutorial number 3, and tutorial number 4 right after this. So make sure you like this video, comment your questions, and don't forget to subscribe. It helps this tutorial go out in the recommended list so people can learn even more. And of course, it encourages me that you guys are liking my stuff. That's it. My name is Mr. Poppo, and I'll see you guys soon. Let's go.